Yo 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 yo.
Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess Hilarious. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
Charlamagne the guy.
Peace to the planet. It's Monday. Good morning. What's happening? How y'all feel out there?
How y'all feeling? How's everything?
I feel
I'm
blessed, black,
rested.
and highly favored, man. Another day to serve our beautiful listeners. You rested?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, because you didn't stay at homecomings all weekend.
but I still went. I mean, we landed, we went to Powerhouse, and then I had two of my homeboys was in town, so I had to play host. So yesterday we went to brunch. Brunch was like a whole situation, but I was back home by like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Got to bed early.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But we had a great time. Powerhouse was lit.
That's right. Salute to everybody that was at Powerhouse. My kids went. They had an amazing time. I was tapped out. This was the second time in 16 years that I've been at Power 105 that I missed work because of sickness. I had a stomach flu, a stomach virus, and it took down the whole family. It started with the baby. Baby brought it home. Peyton, she was out. Then Brooklyn, then London, and then when I caught it,
It was over.
from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., I was on the toilet, coming out both ways.
We didn't need to know.
I'm just telling you. But it was to the point where I slept in the
I
bathroom.
know, I
No
know
need
that.
for all
Listen,
that.
I'm just telling you.
Sometimes you can
Telling us
remove
for
us
what?
from the chat. We didn't. We really didn't have
I'm
to.
just telling you. Like,
Once
we
you
didn't
said
have to.
stomach flu, virus flu, we already knew.
I was down. I lost 5 pounds.
Okay, all right. All
That
right.
it was that bad. It was it was nasty. And then I gave it to my wife. We gave it to Mercedes, my assistant. Everybody, anybody that was in our house the last couple of days got it and was out for 24 hours. So that was my Friday and Saturday.
Well,
Well,
congratulations to the
Thank you.
Casey family.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad
Thank
you're
you.
here and feeling lighter.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
I am feeling loud. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot
Okay.
better. But yeah, it was a stomach virus. And stomach virus, you can't take anything. You just have to let it go through the system.
We get it.
Just telling you. Just telling you.
It flowed through the system.
It flowed
We
through the
get-
system.
we
But
get
tell
it.
us about Powerhouse.
Powerhouse was lit. Sexy Red, first of all, Sexy Red is really my friend in my head. I don't care what people say about her. She is a good time, and it just be so chill, so effortless. Now I understand why A Boogie is like on every major show in New York.
Yes, he is. He
Like,
sells out every time. Sells out the Garden. Sells out the
Yo,
Barclays.
I've seen him in concert. I think I was
One
in
of New
LA.
York's biggest artists.
I've never seen him in New York. I will go to every concert he has in New York. It was like I was on the floor when he came out, and just the way that the people it was he got that like A Boogie is the one.
How did
for real.
Gunna do? How did Gunna do here?
I didn't think it wasn't Gunna. He did what he was supposed to do. The crowd was rough, but it was a little tough with Gunna.
They was there for A Boogie.
Yeah, they were singing along and all that, but it just didn't. The energy wasn't there like it was with Sexy.
Gotcha.
And then when A Boogie came out, I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't know if Gunna maybe could have sat that one out. But I love his music though. We were all rocking to his music, but I was like, why the crowd not giving him? Is it just me? And everybody with me was like, nah, the crowd not really giving him what
He should have got.
when you see his concerts online and the floor it wasn't that.
Wow.
But he still did a great job, and he performed Spin King set with he brought out 4-1, he brought out NLE Chopper, all of
Jordan
the New
Toomey
York
came out with him.
Yes,
Yeah.
That was lit as well. It was a good time. It was a really good time.
All right. Again, salute to everybody that went to Powerhouse Philly and Powerhouse NYC over the weekend. Now, Talib Kweli will be joining us this morning.
Yes, he's got a new album called The Confidence of Knowing that is out now.
That's right. And we're going to kick it with him in a little bit. And we got some front page news when we come back with Morgan Wood. So don't go anywhere. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Now, tonight is Game 3 of the World Series. The Dodgers lead 2-0. And we'll see how that happens. That game happens at 8:08 tonight. Now, in football, all right, the Cardinals beat the Dolphins, the Patriots beat the Jets, the Eagles beat the Bengals, the Browns beat the Ravens, the Texans beat the Colts, the Lions demolished the Titans 52-14, Chargers beat the Saints, the Falcons beat the Buccaneers, the Bills beat the Seahawks, Commanders came back from that game and beat the Bears 18-15.
Fantastic game, by the way.
Great game.
Hail Mary at the end, unbelievable.
The Chiefs beat the Raiders, Broncos beat the Panthers, and the 49ers beat the Cowboys. And in Monday Night Football, the Giants take on the Steelers at 8:15.
The Steelers won. Just want to throw that out there. All right.
The game's not over yet, sir. The game hasn't started.
The Steelers won. You know what I mean?
Maybe not.
This is guaranteed.
Maybe not. Morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Hail Mary, certainly full of grace. Oh, goodness. So the countdown is on, y'all. Election day is 8 days away, Tuesday, November 5th. And top of the front page news is make sure you exercise your right to vote. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris, she rallied in Texas and the battleground state of Michigan over the weekend before she took the stage in Texas. Harris spoke about the fight over abortion rights. And here's what she had to say to reporters.
This is among the most critical issues that the American people will address when they vote for who will be the next president of the United States. Real harm has occurred in our country. A real suffering has occurred. People have died. There are just certain decisions the government should not be making for individuals and their families.
Of course, she spoke about abortion bans and passed in places like Texas, which have led women to miscarry in parking lots. Same as that in Georgia and also Florida. Go ahead, Charlamagne.
No, I said I saw Trump this weekend say abortion isn't a major issue anymore. And I'm like, to who? Like, who are you talking to?
They said a lot of stupid stuff over the weekend.
Yeah, we'll get into that and all the garbage, quote unquote. But getting back to that rally in Houston, of course, Beyonce, she took the stage endorsing Harris, not as a celebrity, not as a politician, but as a mother. Beyonce, of course, joined Harris in Houston for a campaign event. She introduced Harris to a massive crowd on Friday night. She called on women of America and Texans alike, and of course, her fans to step up and vote, saying freedom is on the ballot this year. And it's time for a new song. Let's hear those comments from Beyonce at the rally in Houston.
We must vote. And we need you. It's time to sing a new song. A song that began 248 years ago. The old notes of downfall, discord, despair no longer resonate. Our generations of loved ones before us are whispering a prophecy, a quest, a calling, an anthem. Our moment right now, it's time for America to sing a new song. Our voices sing a chorus of unity. They sing a song of dignity and opportunity. Are y'all ready to add your voice to the new American song?
I thought Beyonce and Kelly did very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. And then
Kelly's speech was incredible.
Mm-hmm. Kelly introduced Beyonce during that rally. And yes, Kelly's speech as well was very compelling, very energized. Of course, VP Harris is using Beyonce's hit Freedom as a theme song for her campaign. And as VP Harris took the stage, of course, she reiterated and leaned into those reproductive rights, arguing, of course, again, that the government should not be allowed to make medical decisions for individuals. They were also in Michigan over the weekend. Former First Lady Michelle Obama appeared with VP Harris in Michigan in Kalamazoo on Saturday, saying that too many people are indifferent to Donald Trump's felonies while also criticizing Harris. Let's hear from Michelle Obama.
I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. His chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, for example, said, and these are his words, that Trump is fascist to the core. His Joint Chief of Staff. If you're not famous, if you criticize or disagree with him in any way, if he doesn't view you as his equal or relevant to his ambitions, I promise you, he will not think about you when he gets into the Oval Office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't even call it a double standard anymore. I've never seen anything like it. Like, Trump has something greater than even white privilege. Like,
what's greater than white privilege?
I don't know. He marginalizes white people. Like, he marginalizes white people. It's unreal. Like, nobody treats him like a threat. Not the DOJ, not the media, not voters, nobody. I've never seen anything like it.
I'm sure we'll talk about his rally next hour, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That was crazy.
More front page at 7 a.m. Trump was in New York at Madison Square Garden talking about the Puerto Ricans. Oh, no, not the Ricans. Not the Ricans. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll discuss that next hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800.
Did he speak?
He spoke.
Okay. I haven't heard anything about him. I've heard about everybody.
Everybody else has been trending, though. He
spoke.
I've heard about everybody else except for him. I didn't hear anything.
He spoke. Yeah, we'll get to that next hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Call us up right now. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Wake up. Wake your ass.
This your time to get it off your chest. Whether you're mad or blessed, we want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is your friend Nicole from St. Louis. How are you guys?
Good
Peace,
morning.
Nicole from St. Louis.
How you
Morning.
feeling?
Good morning. Is that Miss Lauren? She still there?
Yes,
ma'am.
I'm here.
Miss Lauren, I'm so glad you're still here. Let me tell you right quick before I talk to Charlamagne. When I called on my birthday, December 6th, you helped me out with the fellas because they just kind of left me hanging. Do you remember that?
What happened? I forget.
It was the anniversary of the show, and I called on my birthday, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing for your birthday?" And I'm telling them, and then they were just quiet.
Oh.
And you were like, "Y'all just gonna leave her hanging?"
She don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't even remember, but it sounds like them to just,
Well, that's okay. Charlamagne.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we went to Usher's concert on Friday here in St. Louis, and yeah, the domestic terrorist was woo.
He was wilding.
Oh man, he was feeding the ladies cherries,
And
and
breaking
this
up
one
happy
lady,
homes.
he was making you had to open your mouth and let him put the cherry in. And this one lady, she wanted to grab the cherry, and he took it back. It was like, you have to open your mouth and let me put the cherry in.
Usher need to be stopped. Build a wall around Usher, man.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny, Charlamagne. I couldn't wait to call and talk to you about it this morning.
Did you call somebody? Did you call the proper authorities on Usher?
Oh, was Nicole
Usher
the
need
lady?
his own ICE agency.
Oh, was-
Like we need to put an organization on Usher. man.
Nicole might have been the lady with her mouth open.
No. I was with my husband.
Usher don't care.
I was about to say, because he did it with DDG and Chloe.
And DDG grabbed that cherry.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, one more
sorry, Aunt
question,
Hallie.
please. Charlamagne,
Yes, ma'am.
can I please send you my sister's book? Can I have the address to the show so I can send you her book?
Yes, we gonna
Please.
put you on
Hold on
hold,
one
and
second,
Eddie will
Mama.
give you the address, and you can mail it up. Thank
Hold
you
on.
very much. You know what's so crazy? Usher did that to Holly, and then Holly and DDG broke up a couple weeks later.
So now you want to blame it on Usher?
But
Why not?
DDG grabbed the cherry.
It don't matter. You know what I mean? Because if your mouth was open and then I had to grab the cherry, then what? Now we arguing at the house.
I don't even know if her mouth fully got open. I think she just kind of looked up and she didn't even have a chance.
Hello, who's this?
Come on, it's your boy Lovey from the Bronx.
Lovey,
Peace,
what's
Lovey.
up? Get it off your chest.
Peace King. I want to tap in because last week I called y'all about DJ Clark Kent. And I know you said, no, Lovey ain't pop. I was like, yeah, I know. So I want to send a sleep in peace to my guy, DJ Clark Kent.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And I also
peace to
want-
Clark Kent.
Yeah, I also want to say I'm blessed back. I highly favor my niece, passed the bar. So we got another sister as an attorney.
Hey.
So shout out to my niece, Ray Neat.
Congratulations to her,
to
brother.
your niece, brother.
Thank you, Lovey. And again, rest in peace to God's favorite DJ Clark Kent. If you don't know, of course, Clark Kent was one of the producers behind Notorious B.I.G., produced for Hove. Just a great individual,
Great
sneakerhead,
human, man.
great guy. Sending love and condolences to his family, his wife, his kids. He was just a great dude. Always just checking in to make sure that you were good, DJs were good, just people were good. He was just a great human being. So salute and rest in peace to DJ Clark Kent. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
This is Mikey.
Mikey, what's up? Get it off your chest.
Hey, I've listened to you guys for a good bit of time now. Every time I'm driving into work, like I am right now, and I noticed that like when you guys are talking about the difference of the rallies this morning, kind of like you do every morning, I have a different perspective of it. I think that people showed up in massive numbers to support Trump, and I think that shows his support even in a place like New York City where they expected him to get nothing.
Hey, can I say something to you, brother?
Go ahead.
Nobody this morning talked about the size of either one of those rallies. like neither one, nobody in here talked about that. We played some clips from the rally, but we didn't say nothing about the size of the rally.
Right. Well, I kind of just noticed how you guys said it was a massive turnout in Houston, but if we're going to compare like a size thing here, it's going to be not even a comparison. Donald Trump has a way bigger turnout, and I think that's because even in a place like New York City, he has massive turnout because
we're not. But once again,
he's taking that still way better.
But once again, nobody compared the sizes of it. But I mean, if you want to, Kamala Harris did have 30,000 people in Houston. I mean,
I think Donald Trump had 40,000 waiting outside.
That's not true. Knock it off.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
In New York City, it was not no 40,000 people waiting outside the Garden, bro. We live here.
That was not in the building.
Yeah, but we live here. There was not no 40,000 people sitting outside the Garden, bro.
That was outside Madison Square Garden.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. We live here. That didn't happen.
He counted everyone.
But once again,
everybody in.
He counted everybody. Yeah.
It's easy to say it didn't happen.
I know it didn't happen. But once again, nobody was talking about their crowd sizes. So you called up here this morning on assignment to say that, but nobody had that conversation.
How many people were in the Garden? Do you know, sir?
The only thing that they said was that there wasn't a seat that wasn't taken.
Yeah, the Garden holds 19,500 people.
Yeah, it holds 19,000 people.
Yeah. So I mean that's a massive turnout.
So you telling me that it was double that outside of the Garden, even though we live here and we know it wasn't? You telling me that it was 40,000 people outside of the Garden?
That is what was reported.
Okay, well,
I've been seeing
we have a good morning, sir.
The MAGA bots on Instagram, but I ain't never heard one on the phone.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I ain't never heard the voice in real life.
That was crazy. Okay, you know how much 40,000 people is?
Hello, who's this?
Hello, hey, this is DJ Envy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, DJ Envy. Hey, Charlamagne, how you doing this morning?
Peace. How you doing, brother?
And Miss Lauren, a pleasure to listen to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, I just want to tell your listeners, don't sign the PAC petition. It's a data heist.
What is the PAC petition?
A data heist is the PAC petition that Elon Musk has going on right now.
Who?
It's Elon Musk.
Oh, to get the $1 million?
Correct. It's a data heist. And what it is that a data heist is if you needed like 5 pieces of information, but you could only get 4 of those legally. But you could pay for the 5th piece. And that 5th piece will allow you to get information like data or voting history.
Yeah, don't give up your data signing a PAC. Give up your data, signing on to a new social media site. That's how you get everybody.
It's the same thing. He got them both. Okay. Hello, who's this?
Good morning.
Good morning.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, brother? What's your name?
Hey, my name's T.
What's up,
I'm
Keith?
just calling. I just wanted to encourage people to get out there and vote. I think it's really important this time around. It's been important any other time, but this time just feels a lot different.
You're right.
I just want to encourage y'all to get out there and vote for Kamala, honestly, because it's stuff that she's offering that we really need. That child tax credit that we were getting in 2021 with Joe Biden, the extension of that, the $50,000 tax deduction, small businesses. These things are important. These things we need. We out here struggling right now. So
okay.
I just want people to take it seriously and stop playing around this time around and making everything. I don't know. They just trivialize everything right now. I just don't appreciate that.
And this is a black man saying to go vote for Kamala Harris. Okay. So you see that? So stop it with all those false narratives. I was actually looking at a poll yesterday. They said Kamala is her support amongst black men is 85% right now.
Oh wow.
Which we knew was going to be the case, but people run around with all of these false narratives saying that black men don't want to vote for the vice president, which is just ridiculous.
Where did that start? Like, why did that start?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Well, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa coming up.
We do, and of course, before we start our show, we have to take a minute for DJ Clark Kent, so we're going to do that at the top of the news, at the top of the first hour, Jess With The Mess.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club.
I want to drop one of Clues bombs for South Carolina State University. They had their homecoming over the weekend. They won their homecoming game 69-35. They played some team called Delaware State University or something like that.
Did you go to homecoming?
Yeah, but
did you go to the game?
He did.
Those honorary degrees, they get to your head, but have you been to the homecoming?
What that got to do with South Carolina State? Why are you so upset about this?
No, I'm not upset. I'm just asking.
South Carolina State University beat Delaware State 69-35.
You hit the yard?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't go nowhere. But 69-35.
That's how you can tell you ain't go to. You ain't go there.
69-35. Since we shouting out schools, South Hampton University, they won 41-21 for their homecoming.
Damn, who they play?
Elon? I don't even know what team Elon is.
Since we starting out school, shout out to Delaware State
Elon
University
Phoenix.
just because.
Yeah, they lost to South Carolina State University this weekend, 69-35.
Okay. I mean, all right.
All right, well, let's get to Jess with the Mess with Lorna Rosa.
News is real, whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies, She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mess.
On The Breakfast Club.
She's the culture show.
With Lauren LaRosa.
I'm back. And I got the mess.
Talk to me.
Man, so over the weekend, we lost DJ Clark Kent. So it was announced via his Instagram. It said, it is with deep sadness that we share the passing of the beloved DJ Clark Kent. He passed away Thursday evening, surrounded by his devoted wife, his daughters, and his son. Clark quietly fought a 3-year battle with colon cancer while continuing to share his gifts with the world. The family is grateful for everyone's love, support, and prayers during this time. They ask for privacy as they process this immense loss. So, I just wanted to take some time as we opened up the news this morning to just talk about the impact of DJ Clark Kent. I know a lot of people, they hear the name, but I don't know if everybody and all the time people understand what he is synonymous with. Like, he has created some of the biggest careers that we know in the game, from Biggie to Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, 50 Cent. When you talk about Jay-Z has said Reasonable Doubt wouldn't even have happened if it wasn't for the influence of Clark Kent. Players Anthem, throwing Little Kim on the record and coaching her through that. And people, just that being known as like one of the first times people heard her on a record. So I just wanted to take that time. We do have some songs here in the mix for them, and y'all want to share some thoughts, anything like that. I know you guys are so close to the, you're here in New York.
Yeah, I would say, legendary career professionally, but I would just say, as an individual, whenever you met Clark Kent, just a solid human. You know what I'm saying? Just a genuinely good person. Like, just a pleasant individual in all my encounters with DJ Clark Kent. Like just a good brother, a person that would call you and tell you if he saw you doing something good. If he didn't like something that you was doing, he'd call you and tell you that as well.
Absolutely.
But it would always end with some type of solution to whatever it was. So I just thought he was just a good person.
Yeah, great individual, not just a DJ and not pushing DJs forward. Like Charlamagne said, he would call you if he agreed with something you said or disagreed, and it always ended in love. He actually
always down for a healthy debate.
Yes,
he was always down for a healthy debate.
Yes, I actually seen him last year at Giants game. He a huge Giants fan, and he was telling me what he was going through, and he was just saying, just do me a favor, just tell your listeners to make sure they go to the doctor and make sure they get checked and make sure they do the necessary things to make sure they can live as long as they possibly can. But he was just a great individual, an amazing DJ, an amazing producer, a sneakerhead, and probably one of the biggest sneakerheads out there between him and probably Maya. I mean, he had every pair of sneakers that you could possibly imagine, and just like Charlamagne said, just a great person,
human, man. Just a
good
A
individual.
yeah, just a gentleman.
Well, Angie Martinez spoke out, and she said, the world was just better with him in it. So she's, echoing you guys' sentiments as well. And if you guys remember, we talked about this briefly up here, that Angie Martinez is going to be making her directorial debut, doing a doc about hip hop featuring DJ Clark Kent and his story. And in her post where she was saying goodbye to him, she said, "You were not like everyone. Your cloth was just richer. Your pedigree was more solid. The love you put into everything and everyone you touched just hit harder. And I promise you and Keish," that's his wife, "that I will not sleep until we share your story." So she is definitely still down. This doc is still going to move forward. So that'll be something to look out for. And we of course will be talking about that.
What I love
that
about
comes
that,
as well.
Yeah, what I love about that is called God's Favorite DJ, the story of DJ Clark Kent. What I love about it is that he was here to tell his story.
Yeah.
And he's doing it with somebody like Angie Martinez, who we know cares about the culture, with such with the way she does.
Yes.
So them two partnering up to do that, and for him to be alive to get that done,
to share his story,
incredible.
Well,
let's play some of the music we got in the queue for him. We got some Players Anthem, Sky's the Limit. Just take us somewhere, Rhett.
Players, grab your if you love hip hop. Ladies, rub your if you love big pop.
Yo, peep the style and the way the cops sweat it. The number one question is, can the feds get us?
I listen to Sky's the Limit every morning,
time.
so I might get up and go get the Money playlist.
Yeah, he did the Get Up remix with Lost Boys. He did the so many classics, man. So many mixtape classics. Definitely rest in peace, man.
Yeah, sending his family some love. Well, that's the first hour.
All right.
We're going to wrap that up with
Rest in peace, Clark Kent, sending his family healing energy, man.
That's right.
Good human, man.
All
Great
right.
human.
It's great to have people be able to say that and really mean it about you when you're,
100%.
you know what I mean? Like, everybody close to him that I've been seeing posting these tributes have been saying exactly what you guys have said.
I mean, I wasn't close to him, but it's just the times that I met him and the times that, he reached out, I reached out to him, it always was a gentleman.
That's right.
Always was a gentleman.
Love to see it.
All right. When we come back, we got front page news. Morgan will be joining us. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Let's start off with some quick sports tonight. Game 3, the World Series. Dodgers take on the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Starts at 8:08. And in some football, all right, let's start it off. A lot of scores, all right? Cardinals beat the Dolphins 28-27. Patriots beat the Jets 25-22. Eagles beat the Bengals. Browns beat the Ravens. The Texans beat the Colts. The Lions destroyed the Titans. Chargers beat the Saints. Commanders beat the Bears. That was a great game. The Bills beat the Seahawks. Falcons beat the Buccaneers. The Raiders lost to the Chiefs. The Broncos beat the Panthers. The Cowboys got beat by the 49ers. And tonight in Monday Night Football, the Giants take on the Steelers at 8:15.
Don't worry about it, Cowboy Nation. We 3-4. But the road to the Super Bowl is not easy.
Yo, shut up.
Okay, there's going to be obstacles.
Yo,
there's going to be hurdles.
You always come here talking like all my life I had to fight.
There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be hurdles. There's going to be doubters. There's going to be naysayers. There's going to be critics.
When do you tap out?
But the road to the Super Bowl is not easy. Okay, Cowboy Nation, don't worry about it. We on our way.
Yeah, a couple years from now. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Y'all want to check on that man? Make sure he's okay?
Yeah,
he's sitting here in front of us here in our.
At least I don't have two teams, Morgan. Okay, and you know, like you barely can lose every week. You can't really lose every week because somebody gonna win.
It gives me hope. You know what I'm saying?
The Ravens did lose this weekend though.
But her Commanders won, so she happy.
They did, but that Hail Mary was full of grace. Okay, on the Commander side. Shout out to the home teams. All right. Two different divisions. They barely ever play each other in the regular season.
I'm gonna tell everybody you still call them the Redskins.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, y'all. Commit to a name, and I could have committed to the team. Anyways, moving on. The election countdown is on. Okay, Tuesday, November 5th is 8 days away, y'all. Top of the front page news. Make sure you're registered to vote, and make sure you exercise that right to vote. With that said, Trump rallied in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and New York over the weekend. Former President Trump, he's continuing his push for the White House. He did so at a rally at Madison Square Garden in New York over the weekend with House Speaker Mike Johnson, Elon Musk, Melania Trump, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They all spoke at the event. In addition to comedian Kill Tony, who brought controversy following a set that included insults towards black people and Puerto Ricans. Let's hear more from comedian Kill Tony.
All right, heck yeah, it's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. It is absolutely wild times. There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Here's what I don't understand, right?
What's that?
Boricuas, rise up. No, I'm just kidding.
What's that?
What's the point of that? Like, why? Like, if I'm Donald Trump and, you know, people already label me racist and sexist and fascist and people are saying, hey, he's holding a rally at the Garden the way the Nazis did in the 30s. How about tell everyone on the bill to not do anything racist?
Because he's been able to do everything that he's wanted to do for a very long time, and nothing has happened.
That didn't make sense.
Even now, people are upset about this, and like, you know, there's been a lot of support from different people like Bad Bunny, J-Lo, whatever, following these comments. But there's a whole other side that is just like laughing and moving on. So,
but that's why I don't understand. Like, politically, why? Like, why? Who in his team is saying this is a politically smart thing to do?
And did those jokes have to be cleared? Like, you had to clear what he was saying beforehand? I would assume, right? If you're going to speak at my rally, it would kind of, somebody had some type of clearance. They already
started trying to distance themselves from the comments, too.
But that's my point. Like, the campaign put out a statement saying, you know, distance themselves from Kill Tony comments. But why even have those comments to
y'all
begin
knew what he was
with?
there for. Y'all knew what y'all signed up for. It didn't
crazy.
go over well, so now y'all distancing yourselves and all that. But
Like Donald Trump is entertaining on podcasts, but he don't seem too good at politics because just politically that was just stupid,
horrible.
Of course, this, comes as Trump has been criticized to his following his responses to Hurricanes Irma and Maria when, those hurricanes impacted Puerto Rico back in 2017. Y'all remember when he was throwing those, what do you call
paper
it?
Towels.
Paper towels.
Yeah, paper towels at people.
Paper towels like they were basketballs out to people and stuff like that. So, of course, and as you mentioned, Lauren, Puerto Rican stars Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, Louis Fonsi, and Jennifer Lopez have now backed Democratic presidential candidate Vice President Kamala Harris as a result of these comments. I'm not sure if it's really as a result of these comments, but it certainly prompted them to step up and become more public with their choice. You mentioned Trump podcasting, Charlamagne. So he did sit down with Joe Rogan over the weekend, or he did sit that episode was actually released over the weekend, and he asked to provide examples of how the election was stolen in 2020 because he is still claiming that the 2020 election was stolen. And here's what he had to say in regards to the election being stolen while sitting down with Joe Rogan.
They were supposed to get legislative approval to do the things they did, and they didn't get it. In many cases, they didn't get it. If you take a look at Wisconsin, they virtually admitted that the election was rigged, robbed, and stolen. I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes. That's like 1/10 of 1%, less than that. It's a tiny little thing.
Rogan kept asking him over and over, well, how exactly did they steal it? He couldn't tell. He couldn't tell him.
Meanwhile, Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance, he's pushing back against comments made by White House Chief of Staff John Kelly last week, saying that Trump meets the definition of a fascist. Vance told CNN State of the Union Trump didn't say or do the things Kelly accuses him of. Let's hear those comments from J.D. Vance on CNN State of the Union.
Pretty much all of what John Kelly accuses Donald Trump of saying. There were other people in the room, Mike Pence's former chief of staff, for example, who've explicitly said Donald Trump never said those things. They'll say, well, he's a dictator, when what they really mean is they won't listen. Donald Trump wouldn't listen to the leadership of the military when they wanted him to start ridiculous conflicts. They're conservative in the sense that they want America to get involved in a ton of ridiculous military conflicts. They want America to police the world, and Donald Trump wasn't.
Well, I can appreciate not getting involved in extra conflict, but at the same time, if these guys have been doing it for their whole lives, if they've been doing it and they've had the experience, and they are advising you, well, sir, take the advice. Anyways, let's bring things home.
But JD Vance is also full of it though, because he kept denying everything that they even told him about Trump saying he wanted to put the American military on U.S. citizens, and he was denying that Trump said that. And they actually played him the audio, and he said, "I did not hear President Trump say." They played him the audio, so it's just like whatever, man.
We can only take Vance with a grain of salt. Is what you getting at?
Absolutely.
I mean, just a year ago, he was calling Trump Hitler. Is that what you're saying? Oh,
absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit BINnews.com. Talk to y'all tomorrow.
Thank you, Morgan. All right. Well, when we come back, Talib Kweli will be joining us. He has a new album, The Confidence of Knowing, is out right now. We're going to talk to him when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Jess is on maternity leave, so Lauren LaRosa is filling in. And we got our niece with us today, Nyla.
Big Nyla.
All right, and we got a special guest in the building.
The good brother Talib Kweli is here. What's up, King?
You say my name like my parents do.
That's not how you say it.
Yeah.
That's the right way, right?
That's how my parents say it. You know, the Muslims say Talib.
Talib.
But I was raised as Talib.
Talib.
That's how you know I've known you for a long time. You say it the old school way.
How are you, King?
I'm good. Good to see you.
New album, The Confidence in Knowing?
Yes, sir.
What is The Confidence in Knowing? Not just the album, but that mantra. What is that?
Well, first of all, shout out to Jay Rawls, the producer, professor at The Ohio State University, producer of Brown Skin Lady. He's my partner on that album. So shout out to Jay Rawls. Mm-hmm. But The Confidence in Knowing is a quote that I got actually from Jay-Z. He said it off the cuff in an interview, and I feel like he heard it somewhere, but it stayed with me for years. It's the idea that as an artist, you have to know that you're on the right path. You have to know that you're doing the right thing, even when the world tells you that you sound crazy when you say, I'm gonna be an artist for a living. You know what I'm saying? Even when the world says, nah, that's not gonna work, your chances of succeeding in that world are so small, you should get a regular job. And there's a lot of voices like that for artists. So for art, you have to have the confidence to know that even though the world is telling you that you're crazy, that you're doing the right thing.
You know what's interesting about that? I remember when Hov said, skills sold lyrically, I'll probably be Talib Kweli. I wonder if in that moment was he truly confident?
That's a great question. I feel like he was in that moment he was telling us that he feels restricted. He still had to drop an album every fourth quarter to get the sales of Rockefeller up at that time. He still had to make records for the radio, records for the club.
The business of it. And then after that, when he was a billionaire, he no longer had to do that. Now he got the Basquiat dreads. You know what I'm saying? Now he looks like how I looked like in high school. He sounds like how I sound like in high school. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever feel restricted? Because I know you do your own thing a lot. So have you ever felt that restriction? Even with the release of this project, I've seen you talk about you tour so much and just some of the comments you made about yourself. I think you're in a really great space and you love the space you're in, but it's a lot different. Artists normally, you said it yourself, you would understand why someone would call you a one-hit wonder depending on what they listen to in hip-hop and what era they are. A lot of artists would be upset about that, but you are very comfortable with where you are. Do you feel restricted sometimes? You have to fall into the business because of whatever reason?
I think I've gone through that. I can listen to records I've made. I like all my records and I think that I'm good at my craft, but I can listen to records I made 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where I'm like, okay, I could tell the intentionality behind this song was to be in the music business.
Gotcha.
Trying to get a single on radio, trying to get more ears and eyes of what I'm doing. And the less I do that, the happier I am.
When did you start doing that less though? Do you remember that moment of
Man, I think it was a gradual process. I'm not sure when I really stopped doing that, but I think around the time when I started, I did an album called The Seven with Styles P. And on that album, it was no pressure to have a hit single or have a radio single or anything. It's just we just gonna bar everybody out. And after that, I did an album with Diamond D. Did an album with Madlib. I try to work with people who I don't have to meet that expectation.
But wasn't that the meaning behind Roques back in the day? Wasn't that label there so artists didn't have to compromise?
Yeah, but then Simon Says happened. And it was such a huge record. The first Roques song that made it to radio was Definition, Me and Mos Def. And Flex liked that. And he was playing that. If you remember in the era, Flex was so big in that era. And so Simon Says comes next. And Simon Says, before Simon Says, the Roques thing was, we don't need the radio, we independent. Until you get a radio single. Then the label started chasing them hits. Remember they signed G-Rap and they signed Smith & Wesson. They had G-Rap and Jagged Edge record. You know what I'm saying? It's with all due respect to both G-Rap and Jagged Edge, that record didn't work.
That's not what you want to hear.
That's not what you wanted to hear from either one of them. And so they got kind of caught up in that, trying to chase them hits.
I was going to say, in the confidence of knowing, because I feel like, especially the type of rapper that you are, when you talk about knowing, it's understanding life and just the amount of knowledge that you drop. It's kind of how do you navigate and just staying balanced, because the things that you talk about aren't really light subjects, it's real life.
I think for me it's been rewarding to be this type of artist and to, I love what I do, and I'm someone who I try my best to focus on the culture of hip hop. And I think people outside of the culture see hip hop one way. They see it as just greed or sex and violence. And it's easy for them to critique that. But I think for me and the community I come from, it's just always been about the culture. I'm excited about it. I wake up excited about it. I think just trying to be excited about and doing what you love for a living. I'm not in it to make money. I want to make money, but I don't rap to make money. I try to allow who I am to create revenue streams, and I encourage other artists to not depend on the art for revenue, because it ain't out there like that. Yeah, I hope I answered your question. It's a good question. I'm not sure I answered it properly.
No, you do. I feel because I'm a person who gravitates towards conscious music, and I feel at times I don't want to be aware, but I can't help but be aware, because this is just where I'm this is.
Now that's interesting. Yeah, because music, especially for people who are marginalized in the communities that we serve with our music, these people have hard lives, and so music should be an escapism, and it often is. And so a lot of people go to the club. You go to the club, people work hard all week, they save up their coin, they go to the club. They don't want to hear somebody talking about the election or black nationalism or you know what I'm saying. They
Depends how you do it.
I got dragged for saying that in this room.
You gotta let me say it with you.
Yeah, thank you. Because I basically was trying to say that as well too. Like, even if I have like conscious music that I listen to, like when I'm out and I'm partying, I really don't. The stuff gets heavy. Like I just want to party and have a good time.
She started off by saying, "Nobody want to hear that."
Yeah, that's not what I said. No. That's not what I said. That's how it was edited. That is not what it was.
After Kendrick dropped the party,
you know it's crazy.
I was asked the question. It's not what I said. It was how it was edited.
Yeah.
I was asked the question
for the clips.
Yeah, right. I feel like I think he edited it with his own fingers.
Right.
What I was basically trying to say is like, even if the music is great and it has a place, I think like more people feel like they want the escapism.
They do.
A lot of time.
And
that's how I feel anyway. I'm not a stats person.
This movie that Issa Rae did years ago, she kind of like set us up for the Kendrick and Drake battle. I forget what it's called. It's Issa Rae and Lakeith Stansfield.
I know what you're talking about.
In that movie, there was an argument about Kendrick and Drake.
It was a rom-com joint.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
But the whole movie's based on he liked Kendrick, she liked Drake. And at the end of the movie, he like, I don't mean to spoiler alert, but he buys her tickets to a Kendrick Lamar concert. Because it was like the philosophy of what Drake represents versus what Kendrick represents.
Why the hell my brain never caught that
It's called the photograph.
Why am I just realizing that now, yo?
But she was early on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was early. I don't know. She's just acting in the movie. I don't know if she wrote or produced it, but she was the catalyst behind the movie.
But I don't know why that hasn't come up. I haven't heard that all year long.
I just thought about it just when you just said.
Okay.
I just thought about it. But I got this song "Get By." It's my biggest song. Whenever something bad happens to black people, y'all play it up here on the radio station.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we was playing it earlier. Not lying.
Something bad happens to black people.
You know what it is, but I used to go to strip clubs a lot. I didn't go to strip clubs until I became known as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain era of rap, strip clubs were very popular. And I would go in a strip club and the DJs, a lot of the DJs, this is before like you could get Tidal on your Serato. The DJs a lot of times in strip clubs, they might have just Get By in they crates. So I'm walking in a strip club and they playing Get By and them strippers is like, I want to hear this. I want to have to twerk to this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
even though they doing what they need to do just to get by.
That's true. So I get what you're saying, but I will say this to that point, because what you're saying is correct. The hardest thing to do is to make conscious music.
100%, I agree with you.
And that's I challenge myself. I run to it knowing that knowing people want to hear that escapism. How can I be so dope that even though they don't want to hear this, they still gonna have to hear it?
All right, we got more with Talib Kweli when we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess, and Nala's hanging out with us. We're still kicking it with Talib Kweli. His new album, The Confidence of Knowing, is out now. Charlamagne?
Do labels still even matter? Like what has changed since the 90s, early 2000s? Like, if it ain't radio, if it ain't labels, like, what do artists do?
I think it's, the power of the people. I was listening to y'all talk about Tyler, the Creator. I think what people from his generation, like the conversation that that was had around Tyler and DJ Khaled when their records dropped at the same time. And Khaled was on social media, like not understanding how Tyler went number one. I think that, to me, signified the change.
Yes.
Where we're going from this, like, very industry-based radio with your relationships with radio to like
the internet.
Because
Tyler is
developing
the internet.
your organic fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tyler and Odd Future and people like that are they now, like that, like I was alluding to, they now the old school of that. Now there's new kids who I probably don't even know about.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting, right? Because when you have these conversations, even about a Tyler, the Creator, and I even think about, you and Mos and all of them, you got to sit back and think, why aren't those guys in the top 5, greatest of all time conversations, or the best of their era conversations? Because it's almost like y'all didn't have the machine behind
I think they are I think we not in those conversations. People like our age are not having them conversations. I think that
the kids are.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the question I'm trying to ask. When I look at a group like Black Star, Mos Def, Talib Kweli should be mentioned in greatest hip hop groups of all time category. Is it because there was no machine behind you to push that button?
Well, we had a button push though. To be fair, Roques gave the illusion of independence. But what made Roques different wasn't just the artists they signed. It was because they took Black Star and Company Flow and Coogee Rap and all these people, and they spent the money. They paid the payolas. They paid for the parties. They had this house in the Hamptons.
You don't got to do the quotation marks. You know, payola real.
Yeah, it's real. You know, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't no DJ.
But they paid for when you in that era. You saw Roques videos on Rap City, on 106 and Park, on the radio promo, all that stuff. They did all the stuff the major label did while saying we're independent. And I think that's the difference.
So it was a lie the whole time?
They were technically they were independent, but they were independent spending the way the majors were spending.
Got you. Do you feel like Black Star made a wise decision or a poor decision by not putting the last album out? Why?
That's a great question. There's pros and cons to it. The pros are the deal I did with Luminary, which was a podcast company, to put the Black Star album out with Luminary, meant that by the time you heard the album, I'm in the black. That's never happened in my career.
Wow.
Normally I have to go out and beg people to come buy the album. Hey y'all, I got a new album out. And I didn't have to do that. I already made my money back before the album ever came out. And so financially, lucrative wise, it made a ton of sense in the world. But I'm still a product of this culture. I still want to be involved in the culture. I'm a rapper. I want people to hear my raps. So the trade-off is we made our money. I didn't lose any money, but a lot of people didn't get to hear the album. I will say that I wish, and this is a wish and a hope, that people would be more to you. I wanted to say this to you earlier about being a conscious consumer, because you said you're into conscious music, but I think too often we put the onus on the artist to be conscious, particularly rappers, and we don't put the onus on ourselves to be conscious consumers, conscious radio hosts, conscious radio programmers, conscious DJs, conscious whatever, conscious teachers, conscious garbage collectors, everything. And if you're a conscious consumer, you're going to want to meet the artists where they're at.
See, that's actually what I really was trying to ask. And the confidence of knowing, because being conscious is like, you know so much and you'll say these things, but people don't really hear you. And like, is that frustrating?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I hate being correct about, and I get frustrated, but that's just ego. So I have to remove my ego from that, and that's why I laugh, because I've been working on that a lot lately.
What were you correct about that now you'd be like, told y'all? Like, you were correct then, but now it would
so much.
I know there's one you
can
like,
point to the songs.
I don't think it's ego to be like, I told you.
Yeah, like I be like these.
I don't think that's ego.
It has to be at least one or two. Give me like the top two of like I said it.
Okay, I used to be on social media a lot. I've been kicked off a bunch of social media because I argue with people and I engage, and they don't want that. And what the arguments I'm having are over like bigotry and politics. It's not like, in my opinion, it's not trivial stuff. It's stuff that's important to talk about. But man, if you ask anybody about me on social media who's not a fan of me, you'll hear this often. Talib Kweli calls everybody a Nazi. Why is he always saying everything is white nationalism? Everything is, and what's in the news? What's dominating the news cycle?
You ain't got to tell me.
You have a right-wing general who gave the definition of fascism. He said fascism is a right-wing extremist,
that's right,
authoritarian philosophy, that this guy that I worked under when I was his military advisor is a fascist. This guy praises Hitler. I've been ringing this bell for years. Since 2016, I was out in front of the White House protesting because he was saying fascist Hitler-like things. And people were like, you're crazy. You keep saying Nazi. People would come to my page. I put up an anti-Trump post, and people would stop what they doing in a day and come to my page and be like, you shouldn't do that. You're a Democratic puppet. You're a puppet of the Jews. This is the type of things people will say to me. You tell me that because I'm against Nazi, that I'm a puppet of the Jews.
Right.
You know who you sound like? You sound like a Nazi.
Yes.
And I felt like I was going crazy a little bit because to me it's clear I'm a little disappointed in our mainstream media, because the way that CNN and MSNBC and all them, they're on the story now, but it's like, this is nothing new.
I just had this conversation with Anderson Cooper last night.
Yeah.
Like literally, because I've been talking about this double standard. The fact that we treat Trump so normally is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
And if you've ever read like a book like The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, you can see exactly we're on the same exact path, a fast track to fascism in America.
It is. When Trump comes out and says Kamala Harris is a socialist, communist, Marxist, those are the enemies of the Nazis politically.
Yep.
That's the opposite political spectrum. So if someone is trying to pander to Nazis, they're going to call you a socialist. They're going to call you a communist. And Kamala Harris is not any of these things. She's an imperialist. She's a capitalist. She's not a socialist. She's never been a socialist. She's never been a communist. These are just boogeyman words. And the Democrats Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, all of them, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, the Democrats as a party, there's so many things you could say that they've done wrong. There's so many flaws. There's so many times they've taken advantage of the black community. There's so much out there you could criticize them for. And a lot of these criticisms are valid. But what I find disheartening is you have people who can now become experts and can eloquently tell you how racist the 94 crime bill was and why Joe Biden shouldn't have said on this show, vote for me if I'm black. They know all that stuff. But then you point to Trump's racism and they're like, I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. What?
That's right.
I can't trust you. I'd rather trust someone who says, I don't trust either one of them.
That's right.
Than someone who's trying to convince me to support Trump.
All right, we got more with Talib Kweli when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Laura LaRosa filling in for Jess. Nala's hanging in with us for this interview. And we got Talib Kweli in the building, Lauren.
When Kanye was on Drink Champs and he made the Common versus you conversation, and then you had responded and was like, you talked about how he told you that he didn't really want to be down for Trump, that Rick Rubin made him do that, and like all that stuff, right? Have you talked to Kanye since all of that stuff?
Yeah, the last time I spoke to Kanye, I ran into him at a hotel maybe last March.
This is after Drink Champs?
After Drink Champs.
Wow. And this is after your comment. Had he saw what you said in response?
Yes, this is the first time I saw Kanye after Drink Champs. And I walked up on him. He said, I knew that was you. I could tell from your silhouette of your baseball hat from across the room. We had a long conversation, and he told me then that he does not support Trump anymore. He said things since then publicly that would lead me to believe he still supports Trump. This guy goes back and forth. But when he sees me, both times I saw him, he says, I don't support Trump. I feel like he don't want to say that in front of me. But if you watch the Drink Champs, he says, Talib Kweli is always telling me to read. I wish he would read himself to death. That's what he said on the show. And it's because a lot of the things he says, I would send him links and articles. Instead of just, you wrong, I'd be like, hey, read this. And so that's what he was reacting to, the fact that I keep trying to make him read. And I feel like Kanye is a genius. He's an icon.
Musical genius.
Yeah, musical genius, icon, fashion icon. Culturally, he's very important, but he's not very well read.
Yep, he's
admittedly.
Admittedly.
I don't read. Admittedly. And I think not being well read, I don't education shame. I try to be careful because my parents are educators. So I try to be careful, but I feel like the American education system is failing us. And this is why someone who's been indicted for rape has a very strong shot of being president for the second time.
And so you haven't talked to him recently to know like where he stands with the Kamala, the Trump right now.
I don't even think we care.
Yeah, I don't know what his I don't know what his position is on this now. But I do. Last time I spoke to him directly, he seemed personally offended by like not getting the relationship he wanted from Trump. Kanye goes where he's liked. There was a documentary made about me a few years ago, and someone interviewed Kanye, and he talked about how he met me and Mos Def and Yasin Bey, and he said nobody liked my beats, no one liked my rhymes, but I started working with these guys because they liked me. When you see Kanye talk about his love for Trump, it's rooted in Obama dissing him.
Yeah.
These guys like me. When you see him wear the red hat, it's because it's like the MAGA people, they're supporting me even when nobody else is. These people support me. I think in the era of likes and wanting to be liked, I think Kanye just wants to be liked.
Dang.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, man, once you see him hug Trump in the Oval Office and say you like a dad to me,
he said
I ain't never looked at him.
You make me feel like a man.
I really have not looked at him the same since.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of love for that guy, but he be saying wild stuff.
How do you feel about the state of hip hop today, from cultural aspects? Like when you think of the Kanyes, when you think of the Diddy's, like Russell Simmons, it's like these pillars of our culture. The stains that are on their legacies now. What do you think about that?
It's twofold. I'm conflicted about this a little bit. I don't think we should separate these people from hip hop. Hip hop is beautiful, it's ugly. Hip hop is good, it's bad. We have conscious activists who are uplifting the community in hip hop. We have abusers and rapists in hip hop. We have all of it. So I think we do a disservice to ourselves to not talk about it in that way. We have to hold each other accountable. We should, in the hip hop community, we should hold these people accountable who are doing these things before it leaves our community. Before we have to see the mainstream media explain to us what a freak off is. You know what I'm saying? This should already be issues handled in our community. With that said,
I'm glad I don't know what a freak off is. I couldn't explain it if I tried.
You see the baby oil behind you? You see the baby oil behind you?
Oh, y'all here. I saw y'all brought y'all some.
Charlamagne.
I saw that. Is that from Donnell?
Yes, exactly. See? Yes.
But I will say that in the conversation, and I alluded to this earlier, we have to also understand that the conversation about hip hop is not being had with people like me in mind, with the conscious artists in mind. And so yes, hip hop is all those things, but hip hop is also very beautiful. I don't think hip hop should be held accountable for what Diddy is accused of.
I agree.
I don't think hip hop should be held accountable for what any of these people are accused of or doing. Or with Diddy, even with Diddy, like there's the accusations and then what we actually saw in the tape. So that's not an accusation. Like we saw him hit that girl like that and beat on that girl like that, and like we have to deal with that. But to me, that's not a hip hop thing. That we can't blame hip hop for that. But as a hip hop community, we should circle the wagons and address it.
And I think that that's important too with hip hop artists, because I feel like a lot of times when things happen, you really don't know where to lie because certain things have been normalized. And also too, you want to believe all women, but then sometimes we find out through court cases that things aren't true. But I think it's important, like what you just said, is like you said, you know what, I got that wrong. And then being able to step back and like learn. For me as a woman, I've learned so much from my male friends about that on my side of things. And I think if men, especially men in hip hop, were able to remove their ego, the chains, how big the chains are, how much they cost, and really listen to some of the women that are in their lives. Because
you know what, Lauren, I will say this because Lauren's absolutely right in everything that she's saying. I think that the things we thought was just music or the things we thought was just jokes did trigger somebody. Because somebody actually went through that. I learned that watching the Dreamhampton doc that she did on R. Kelly. When the victims were talking about how Chappelle's jokes and Boondocks jokes and everybody's jokes had affected them, and I was like, yo, I never thought about that because in my mind we was clowning R. Kelly. You never thought about.
And some people need the jokes to get over it. Some people do.
Or some just funny.
And some are just funny.
Some are just funny. Like that's the other thing. Some are just funny. But the confidence in knowing, right? You got a lot of new artists on this album.
Yes.
A lot of new artists. Why? Was that intentional?
And shout out to J. Rawls. I've done more features than anybody, maybe besides Busta Rhymes. And so I'm kind of like tired of asking people for features, you know, because you feel like you have the favor bank with people. You don't want to exhaust it. And Rawls like, we should need some features. And I said, okay, Rawls, I don't feel like calling up any more favors from these artists, but you tell me what your wish list is. And I'll make one phone call. And if they deliver within the next couple of months, I'm not chasing nobody for these features. I'll put the call out. And God bless everybody on the album. Every person on that wish list is on this album.
Oh, wow.
So that was J. Rawls. He's like, I want to work with Jametta Rose. I had never heard of Jametta Rose. I want to work with Coast Contra. I was familiar with Coast Contra.
Love the Coast
Contra. I was like, yes. But I wasn't sure they were going to get on the album. Even with the song I did with them, it's probably the song that's gaining the most traction from the album, SWAT. I sent them 5 beats before they picked the beat. They were very serious about, like, you know, Georgia Ann Muldrow is someone he said, I want Buckshot on the album. I was like, that's nothing. We could get Buckshot on the album. So yeah, it's like, shout out to J. Rawls for making that decision.
You got the song Native Sons on the album?
Yes.
What's that song represent for you?
Man, that song means so much to me. The Native Tongues is my foundation. Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, Black Sheep, Busta Rhymes, Leaders, New School, Chiali, Beatnuts. What they laid down is like, that's really my blueprint as an artist. And so that song, I'm trying to figure out how much I want to share about this story. Because I was asked not to share certain aspects of it. But what I will say is that song started out in a darker place. And because it's a tribute to the Native Tongues, I sent it to Q-Tip. And he was like, that's not the right energy. And Q-Tip gave me suggestions on what I could do with that song. And I took his suggestions. And because of that, the song is one of my biggest songs recently. We went on Jimmy Fallon with the song. I got a remix coming with some special guests that people are going to really love.
I hope it's the Native Tongues.
Some of them are.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them are. And I just got to thank Q-Tip because the last bar on that song was A Tribe Called Quest is in the Hall of Fame.
What did it mean for you to see Tribe Called Quest get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It means that we're doing the right thing. It means that when we had the confidence of knowing back then, when hip hop wasn't this global thing, that we were right. I feel so good for the family of Fife. Q-Tip is, if you watch that documentary that Rappaport did about Tribe Called Quest, Pharrell in that documentary says, we're all they sons. And musically, I believe that.
Talib, Kweli, y'all. The Confidence in Knowing new album with J. Rawls is out right now. Thank you for coming, my brother.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's Talib Kweli. It's The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. We are The Breakfast Club. Make sure you pick up his album. What's the name of his album?
The Confidence of Knowing.
Confidence of Knowing, out right now. All right. Well, let's get to Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa.
News is real, whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies, don't do no lies. She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mess.
On the Breakfast Club.
She's the coach of shoes.
With Lauren LaRosa.
I'm back. And I got the mess.
Talk to me.
Now, I know we covered a bit of this in front page news, but I wanted to go back to Beyonce and Kelly in Texas because we didn't get a chance to listen to Kelly Rowland when she was the person that did the first speech before Beyonce, and we didn't get a chance to listen to that. So I did want to listen to it because I felt like Kelly went off. Let's take a listen to Kelly Rowland.
We are grabbing back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story that would deny the right for women to make our own decisions about our bodies. Houston, we are grabbing back the pen, that pen, to forge a new path with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We are grabbing back the pen to write a new American story, a story of community, of equality, strength, of kindness, and of hope. And today, that means grabbing that pen and casting my vote, as I already did 2 days ago, for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Now, Houston, you've already had a hand in creating destiny. So do what you do and do this thing again.
So Kelly and Beyonce both, like, their messages were, it's like they use the whole like music analogy to like get their points across. The pen, and you already had a chance at making Destiny do it again. But I thought she went into reproductive rights and just, you know, all this different these different things that are so important right now. But the energy was just there. She set the tone for the energy. So I wanted to make sure we took a listen.
Drop on the Kelly bombs for the Godiva chocolate guys. Kelly Rowland.
Yeah, salute to Kelly.
Now, following Beyonce and Kelly speaking in Houston, Amber Rose got on Twitter, and she said it was a joke, but it wasn't taken as a joke at first. She tweeted, "She want to be like me so bad, literally stole my whole speech," talking about Beyonce. And boy, did she learn a lesson about getting on Beyonce's internet and acting crazy like that. It picked up everywhere. Of course, people went crazy like, girl, what are you talking about? Stole your speech? Why would you ever compare yourself to Beyonce? Why would Beyonce ever be checking for you? Blah, blah, blah. So she had to clear it up. She was out in LA and they ran into her, and she cleared it up by basically just saying, I was trolling. I didn't think it would get picked up that wide. Now, mind y'all, Amber Rose knows she has centered herself in this whole political conversation. Sis knew what she was doing with that tweet. She knew exactly what she was doing with that tweet. And it got the response that I guess she was saying she didn't want, but it happened and she had to clear it up. So please steer clear. Do not play with Beyonce on her internet, and let Kelly Rowland go off always. Period. Now, in other political news, we talked about Trump at MSG earlier. But we didn't, Madison Square Garden, but we didn't get into Dr. Phil. Now, I don't know what surprised me more this weekend, Dwayne Wade's statue or Dr. Phil at this rally. We're going to talk about that statue too.
They were both horrible.
Yo, let's take a listen to Dr. Phil at MSG speaking on behalf or for in support of former President Trump.
By the way, we didn't choose the name for that by random. Merit Street Media. This country was built on hard work, added value, and talent, not on equal outcome, not on DEI. This country was built on hard work.
I want to understand why people who are so against DEI and like the affirmative action and stuff like that, like why do they think just because people diversify things that the diversity isn't talented or smart or it doesn't have merit? Because I don't know if Dr. Phil remember, but the black woman that put him on, she worked hard. She was smart. She was talented. I'm talking about Oprah.
Absolutely.
So I'm just very confused why they like don't put the two synonymously together. Like just because I'm adding to a diversity number, I'm not smart and talented.
Or maybe they don't want to have to compete with people that they know probably will be better than them.
Listen,
you know, and if mediocrity has no problem with other forms of mediocrity. But, you know, when you bring somebody that's just in the room that may just be naturally more brilliant, naturally more intelligent, naturally just better than you on every level, maybe you just want to keep them out the room so you don't have to compete.
Yeah, but those people just don't have the opportunities. A lot of times don't have the money, don't have a lot of the things that they need to get into that position. And sometimes, yes, DEI. I mean, look at all the people that have to go to colleges that have never got an opportunity. I would never have gotten the opportunity to go to some of those Harvards, Stanfords, and those places because of it. So
yeah, and America is not America without DEI. I mean, forget the whole corporate definition of DEI. I'm just talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
If you don't have diversity and inclusion in America, you don't have an America.
Baby, let me tell you, the way they flooding Dr. Phil's comments today, y'all been on his Instagram?
I've never.
You never went to his Instagram.
IG, no.
They are in the comments pissed, okay? I was so surprised to see Dr. Phil on that stage. Especially, I feel like...
Were you?
Yeah, what? Yes, I was. Like, if you were going to vote...
Yeah, that was surprising.
If you were going to vote for Trump, okay, cool, do you? But to get out there to be now a walking poster child for him after all of the things that have been said and things that have been done recently, I'm like, does he not know his audience? Because my grandma and my aunts, I couldn't wait to tell them,
You couldn't wait to tell them?
We're not watching them shows no more. They love him because of Oprah and how she like had him on her back forever. So they love him. But no. And my grandma, she already got up and did her early voting and all that, but she was very upset.
She's very upset with Dr. Phil?
Yes, she was pissed.
Feel free to come up here and explain Dr. Phil if you feel so inclined.
He's been up here many times.
Plenty of times. I've been on Dr. Phil's show plenty of times.
Man, that wasn't it. They missed the mark with that one.
All right. Well, that was Jess with the Mess with Lola Rosa. Charlamagne.
Yes, indeed.
Who are you giving that donkey to?
Man, 4 after the hour. Let's continue to talk about the rally that happened at the Garden yesterday. I'd like Tony Hinchcliffe to come to the front of the congregation. Stephen Miller can come to the front of the congregation. Donald Trump's whole campaign can come to the front of the congregation. You know, let's have a word with all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake up. Wake up. You're locked into the Breakfast Club. This is a miracle.
There is no question that there are problems in this country between police and community.
Yes, you are a donkey.
The latest on that police killing of a black man.
Now to new developments in the deadly spa shooting rampage.
And yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
And so we are in a state of emergency.
Okay, white supremacist violence is and always has been the number one threat to our society.
But I'm also very proud that my wife is white.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Donkey of the day for Monday, October 28th goes to comedian Tony Hinchcliffe. Trump's senior advisor Stephen Miller held a whole Trump campaign. Okay, now if you haven't heard, Donald Trump held a rally at Madison Square Garden yesterday. Now a lot of people were likening this rally to a pro-Nazi event that happened at the Garden in 1939. People would only make those comparisons based on the rhetoric of Donald Trump because there's been other political events at MSG. JFK had a birthday party there. That's when Marilyn Monroe serenaded him. The DNC and the RNC have had conventions there. It's been political events there before, but none of those got compared to pro-Nazi events because the headliner of the events didn't speak like Nazis. Okay, well, you would think that if leading up to the event, people were comparing the event to a pro-Nazi rally. If I was Trump or Trump's campaign, I would probably tell everybody on the bill to go the opposite way of that rhetoric. But that wouldn't be the MAGA way, would it? Tony Hinchcliffe, according to People magazine, was the first speaker of nearly 30 openers, and he let the chopper fly. He hit Latinos, Jewish people, and black people. He was just the opener. Okay, let's listen to what he said about Jewish people and the conflict in the Middle East. We got that right?
When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying?
Let's listen to what Tony Hinchcliffe said about black people.
The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. Heck yeah, it's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
Let's listen to what he said about Latinos.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. It is absolutely wild times. There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
He's wild.
Yo, Trump should have took
He's
him off
crazy.
speakerphone. Like, that's the friend you don't put, like, come on.
Jesus Christ.
He's like, what?
Now, here's the thing. I'm all for offensive comedy, okay? I actually love it. I don't have an issue with it. Push the envelope. It has a place. But what's the number one rule of offensive humor? It has to be funny. Hysterical. You have to say to yourself, that was effed up, but man, it was funny. Tony, you wasn't funny. Okay, I was sitting there thinking to myself, he wrote this? Like, it was basic. Felt almost chat GPT-ish, all right? First of all, salute to all the Puerto Ricans out there. Drop on the clues bombs for Puerto Rico. Okay?
Wepa!
Y'all are America. If you're not America, you're damn sure in New York. Okay?
All day.
Right? New Yorkers love Puerto Ricans. New Yorkers, think Puerto Rico is an exotic and beautiful island because it is. And Puerto Rico is part of America. Am I tripping?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It absolutely positively is.
Tony, you was in there pandering and didn't even know who you was pandering to. Okay? I think the black joke was some crowd work, but everything else, it sounds like he actually gave thought to it, wrote it out, which makes this even worse because it simply wasn't funny. And what I don't get, what I don't understand, and the reason I'm giving out this hee-haw is why. What is the reason? And I'm talking directly to the Trump campaign. You are running a campaign to be the next president of the United States of America. You have to be a president to all people, or at least act like you are. Okay, there was a point where Republican Mack Gaetz said for every Karen MAGA loses, there is a Julio and Jamal ready to sign up. Now, what that means is that polls show they are losing white women, and polls were showing that they were seeing record numbers in black and Latino men. That has recently changed because I saw an ABC News poll yesterday that showed the vice president, Kamala Harris, winning black men 85%, Hispanic men 63%. So either something she is currently doing is working, or those polls saying black men weren't supporting her were wrong. I lean to the polls were wrong, but let's just talk politics, all right? This was just bad politics yesterday. This is why I say Donald Trump is entertaining on podcasts. Okay, Donald Trump is entertaining on podcasts, but he's really bad at politics. At some point, people have to start acknowledging this. He hasn't won a campaign since 2016, and because he's not able to grow his base past MAGA. That's it. Okay, he will always win big with his base, but he can't broaden his support because of stuff like this. Now, his campaign did release a statement. This is what they said. Let's go to ABC 7 New York for the report, please.
Tony Hinchcliffe is a comedian and podcaster, and his remarks set off an avalanche of criticism. His comments targeted a critical demographic in a very tight election. Crazy. Analysts anticipate a record 36.2 million Latinos will cast a ballot this year, many of them Puerto Ricans who live in New York and Florida and Pennsylvania. Officials in Puerto Rico responded as well. Jennifer Gonzalez, a Republican running to be the island's governor, called the comments despicable, inappropriate, and disgusting. In Florida, Republican Senator Rick Scott said the joke bombed for a reason. It's not funny and it's not true. Puerto Ricans are amazing people and amazing Americans. Moments ago, Hinchcliffe came to his own defense. He said, "These people have no sense of humor. I love Puerto Rico and vacation there."
Now, former President Trump's campaign released a statement tonight saying the joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign.
No, you can't distance yourself from it now. There is no distance. You put this man on your program. You didn't vet anything he was going to say. You just let him go up there and speak freely. You cannot have it both ways. You can't garner the support of bigots and white supremacists and then distance yourself when the inevitable backlash comes, okay? That wasn't the only thing, though. Trump's senior advisor, Stephen Miller, he said America is for Americans and Americans only. You know who said something similar in 1934? Adolf Hitler, when he said Germany is for Germans and Germans only. Do we have Stephen's comments read?
America is for Americans and Americans only.
That was last night. Once again, 1934, Adolf Hitler. Germany is for Germans and Germans only. Listen, man, why insult any demographic when the election is so tight? And if you want to support Trump as a black person, Latino person, Jewish person, that's your business. But just know you are voting against your own interests. You are voting for a man in a power structure that simply does not respect you. Okay, we've been watching and listening to this kind of rhetoric since 2016. In the words of Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. I stand on the fact that Donald Trump does not want to be president of the United States of America. I bet if they cut him some type of deal to where he wouldn't end up in prison, he would walk away because he's doing everything in his power to not win. Now, he's building up an incredible code of racists and bigots that are going to support him to the end, but he's not trying to win this election. And if you are black, Latino, Jewish, any minority, women, if you are any minority,
and you're voting for Donald Trump, I have one question. Who taught you to hate yourself? Please give Tony Hinchcliffe and the whole Trump campaign the biggest hee-haw.
All right.
I don't even know what did Trump say over the at the rally.
I ain't hear it.
Honestly, I don't even know. Aside of the dance party with Beyonce, but that was before he got to New York or after he left New York.
Yeah, that was before or after.
Okay.
I only seen a picture. I didn't actually hear him talk.
He probably kept it light. He was like, man, y'all went too hard. You know how when you a DJ and you got a bunch of DJs opening for you and they played all the hits? And it's like, damn, what do I do now?
Yeah, I don't even know what he said. Dang.
We can cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha slide is crazy.
They did that last time, didn't they? Didn't they cha-cha slide before?
I don't know.
I thought he played some music there with cha-cha. Anyway.
Carving watermelons is crazy.
That is wild. All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today. Now, when we come back, Tony Rock, Chris Rock's brother, he was trending over the weekend because he was doing his podcast, and this is what he said during the podcast.
Here's something that I've always wanted to know. How is it that Chris Rock is your brother, and I don't see you in no Chris Rock? And now, before you answer, here's the one that me up the most. The movie that Chris and Martin was in, where they played brothers.
So that me up.
I'm going, not in a million years do Chris Rock and Martin have the same facial features.
Yes.
Tony is his brother and look like him. How is Tony not in the fucking movie playing his brother? Explain that to me.
To try to explain. My brother, he's a businessman when it comes to his movies and TV stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Martin's bigger than me. I need to sell this movie. Tone's my brother. Yes, there will be some, hey, him and his brother in the movie. Let's go check it out. But him and Martin push the needle more. Chris will tell you, I've asked him for 5 favors my whole life. He said no every time, and I swore on everything I loved I would never ask him for anything as long as I lived.
So the question, 800-585-1051, should you have to put your brother on, your family on? That is the question. Let's talk about it when we come back. Again, 800-585-1051, should you have to put your brother on? It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Steady calling my phone.
It's topic time. Call 800-585-1051 to join into the discussion with The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, Lauren LaRosa is filling in for Jess. If you're just joining us, we're talking about something Tony Rock said, which is Chris Rock's brother, about him being in movies or doing stuff with his brother, Chris Rock. Let's listen.
Here's something that I've always wanted to know. How is it that Chris Rock is your brother, and I don't see you in no Chris Rock? And now, before you answer, here's the one that me up the most. The movie that Chris and Martin was in, where they played brothers.
So that me up.
I'm going, not in a million years do Chris Rock and Martin have the same facial features.
Yes.
Tony is his brother and look like him. How is Tony not in the fucking movie playing his brother? Explain that to me.
To try to explain. My brother, he's a businessman when it comes to his movies and TV stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Martin's bigger than me. I need to sell this movie. Tone's my brother. Yes, there will be some, hey, him and his brother in the movie. Let's go check it out. But him and Martin push the needle more. Chris will tell you, I've asked him for 5 favors my whole life. He said no every time, and I swore on everything I loved I would never ask him for anything as long as I lived.
So we're asking 800-585-1051, what are your thoughts? Should you have to put your family on? That is the question. I don't have any brothers or sisters. I'm an only child. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you guys in the room first. You have brothers?
Yes, I have an older brother, younger brother. And do you have to? No. Should you? Yes, but I think you do set boundaries depending on that your relationship, but also depending on what your brother or your sister, whoever, can do, and you got to protect kind of what you've built sometimes.
But Tony's funny as hell.
Yeah, but I was about to say, if you got a talented family member that is in the business and is doing well and can uphold their own, why not? You know what I mean?
I just look at, and I don't know their relationship. I don't know if they have problems, if they don't like each other, what their relationship is. I don't know. We're not in that family. But I always look at the Wayans brothers, right? And the Wayans, they hire everybody, and not just for in front of the camera. They come up here, they talk about behind the scenes, runners, showrunners, and all this other stuff. So I wouldn't know. If Tony wasn't funny, then I'd be like, okay, I get it. But Tony's funny as hell.
But when the Chris Rock, Will Smith stuff happened, Tony came out
ready to fight for Chris.
It's his brother.
That's his brother, right?
You know what I mean? So it seems like they cool. They just got a sibling relationship. So I don't know what's going on.
What you think, Charlotte?
He ain't hiring nobody.
I don't know. I mean, like, you know, I don't feel like you're not. I don't feel like you're obligated to put on a family member. I think you should put on people who put themselves in positions to win, and you should put on people who you feel like you want to put on. Like, I mean, I guess that it got to be in your spirit, right? Like, if I don't know what the situation is. Maybe Chris feels like he maybe hasn't had the right role for Tony. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the reasoning is. You know what I mean? I know there's two sides to every story, but do you have to? No. Are you obligated to? No. Should you? It depends.
See,
it depends.
If I had a brother or sister, I think my mother and my father would make me.
Oh, they try to make you all the time.
My mom and my pops would force me. They were like, "What you doing? You bringing your brother with you?" They would force me.
Yes.
But I would force my kids too. Like when my kids do something, I'm like, "Take your brother with you. Make sure your brother knows what he's doing. Make sure you like."
Yes, but then if you had siblings, you will also know like it's certain times where taking your brother with you might not make sense depending on where your brother is in his life or whatever. But I have no issue with that. Like when you can help, you help. When you can't sink the ship. If you the person that's building the ship, you can't sink the ship trying to help everybody else.
True.
Unless that person, like Charlotte said, if they in a position to, you know what I mean, they're gonna keep and push the ship. Cool, go ahead.
Yeah, you got to you can only put people in positions to win if said person has already put themselves in a position. That's the whole thing about putting somebody on, right? You don't really put people on. People put themselves on, and then you assist them in helping them either get to that next level, or you see an opportunity for them, and this person is already prepared for it. Then you plug them in. Like, there's really no such thing as putting somebody on. I can't just wave a magic wand and say, "Ha ha, you're on."
Sitting on nobody's lap don't work either.
That ain't true.
Hello, who's this?
Good morning, it's Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. Good morning. What's your thoughts, Lynn?
I feel like he should have put his brother on. I feel like in certain communities, people always feel like they got to struggle. I'm not saying, like, put on a lazy family member, but if you see that they working hard, like, help them out.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't it got to be the right thing, though? Like, it got to be the right opportunity. Like, you can't just put him anywhere. You want to put him in a position to win even more.
For the Martin conversation, when you was talking about... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, you're right, but at the end of the day, who are you to pick and choose what would have been right or wrong? Like, you got to give them the opportunity.
No,
you the business, you the business owner.
See, that don't make no sense. Exactly. You can't say, who are you? I'm the person that's putting them in position.
Yeah, it gotta make sense.
It gotta make sense.
The Martin thing that he said, it's like, I get that. Martin's a bigger name, trying to sell a movie. But there has had to be other times where he could have threw the... We all have wondered this, because I used to wonder that about Tony too.
Because he opened up for his brother a couple times, right? Didn't he? Didn't he open up for Chris a couple times?
It's Chris Rock. It's so much other things that he can also do as well too, like movies and shows. It's just a lot. Like
I think the top 5 example he gave was the best one, because he said that Chris told him that he was going to put him in the movie,
and he never got the call.
Didn't. Yeah. Right. So that to me is the best
crazy.
example.
Like, but that's crazy though. You saying that because you think it's crazy?
Yeah, I think it's crazy. That's a better example than the Martin thing.
But I just look at the Wayans brothers, and I guess it's two different families, two different people. But I just look at, I mean, they had showing a DJ, they had this one doing this, they had their brothers in so much stuff to make sure their family was taken care of. I just look at that differently. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Robin from Detroit.
Robin, what up, though?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So, when it comes down to Chris Rock and Tony Rock, I just feel like this. Look at the Wayans brothers dynamic. They all are successful, and they made a name for themselves, all because one brother started everything to put them on. I get it that Tony Rock don't want no handouts or anything for his brother, but what's wrong with a little help? Think about it. Tony Rock, he was in All of Us, and I thought he was hilarious.
In what?
What did you really see of him? Huh?
You said he was in what?
All of Us. With,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty funny. The dude was pretty dope. But what is it that you really don't see that much of him? So, I mean, as Chris Rock and his brother, I don't see what's the issue with a little help or, put him on somehow. That's all.
I mean,
I just think go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Tony was he was on Everybody Hates Chris. He had a recurring role on Everybody Hates Chris. He played Uncle something. I know he was an uncle on Everybody Hates Chris.
Right.
He did. I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah.
He got, some things, but, I mean, if your brother's, I'm not saying, like, okay, because your brother's successful, you have to hang on his coattails. So I'm not saying that, but it's not wrong with a little bit more help if you can give it to him. That's all
Thank you, Robin. 800-585-1051. If you're just joining us, we're talking about a clip that went viral over the weekend. It was Tony Rock talking about his brother Chris and his brother helping him out in the business. Let's play the clip,
Here's something that I've always wanted to know. How is it that Chris Rock is your brother and I don't see you in no Chris Rock? And before you answer, here's the one that me up the most. The movie that Chris and Martin was in where they played brothers.
No, definitely. That me up.
I'm going, not in a million years do Chris Rock and Martin have the same facial features.
Yes.
Tony is his brother and look like him. How is Tony not in the fucking movie playing his brother? Explain that to me.
To try to explain. My brother, he's a businessman when it comes to his movies and TV stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Martin's bigger than me. I need to sell this movie. Tone's my brother. Yes, there will be some, hey, him and his brother in the movie. Let's go check it out. But him and Martin push the needle more. Chris will tell you, I've asked him for 5 favors my whole life. He said no every time, and I swore on everything I loved I would never ask him for anything as long as I lived.
We're just asking what's your thoughts. 800-585-1051.
And salute to Arce Spears. That comes from the Arce Spears podcast.
Arce Spears. Shout out to Arce Spears.
Yeah.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You know we talking about it. It's topic time. Call 800-585-1051 to join into the discussion with the Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. We're talking about this Tony Rock clip that went viral. He was talking about his brother Chris Rock, and this is what they were talking about.
Here's something that I've always wanted to know. How is it that Chris Rock is your brother and I don't see you in no Chris Rock? And before you answer, here's the one that me up the most. The movie that Chris and Martin was in where they played brothers.
No, definitely. That me up.
I'm going, not in a million years do Chris Rock and Martin have the same facial features.
Yes.
Tony is his brother and look like him. How is Tony not in the fucking movie playing his brother? Explain that to me.
To try to explain. My brother, he's a businessman when it comes to his movies and TV stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Martin's bigger than me. I need to sell this movie. Tone's my brother. Yes, there will be some, hey, him and his brother in the movie. Let's go check it out. But him and Martin push the needle more. Chris will tell you, I've asked him for 5 favors my whole life. He said no every time, and I swore on everything I loved I would never ask him for anything as long as I lived.
Now, that was off of the Arce Spears podcast. We're just taking your calls. 800.
Yes, that is off Arce Spears podcast. And I do want to just note, yes, Chris might not never have found the right movie role for Tony, but Tony did have a recurring character on Everybody Hates Chris.
Right.
Like that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a huge show.
Yes. He played Uncle Ryan on Everybody Hates Chris.
Hello, who's this?
This is Big J.
Big J, what's up? Talk to us. What's your thoughts, brother?
Hey, man, we as black people, man, this sense of entitlement, man, we got to stop. If I get on and I make it, it's not my responsibility to make sure another adult makes it. Whether that's my brother, my sister, my cousin, whoever. Now, I can look out at my choice, but after that, man, that's on you. You got to make your own path. I can't design your path for you.
I see what you're saying. I kind of disagree, though. I feel like if you in a space and an opportunity to bring somebody up, you should.
Everybody
can't. They're going to keep coming back, man. They like stray dogs. You feed them once, they're going to be on your porch every day.
First of all, you
thought people normally use cats for that one.
Yeah, you don't have to compare black people to stray dogs.
I don't want to call my people stray dogs.
You did.
I'll just say that they're more needy than others when you hand out a handout.
Jesus.
And it's not a handout. Once again, Chris Rock may not have found the right movie vehicle for Tony Rock, but when he had a sitcom, his brother had a recurring character on there on Everybody Hates Chris as Uncle Ryan.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Sanaya.
Hey, Naya. Good morning. What's your thoughts?
Hi. So regarding the Chris Rock situation, I feel like I do understand why he decided to go with Martin Lawrence. I don't think it's necessary to put your family on, but I feel like, if you can, it's definitely good to do that. But I don't think it's like a necessity, especially if you're like a famous actor like Chris Rock and a comedian and you want to sell a movie.
Yeah, for that situation, I understand him getting Martin Lawrence. Yeah, Martin Lawrence is the biggest star. You want to sell a movie, you want to sell tickets. I understand that.
It's been roles, and he's played roles in shows. Like I know he was in Fargo. I mean, Chris does a lot, but I mean, it's like his own vehicles that he's actually producing and stuff. I don't know.
Because I think people's sentiment with like being like, nah, that's crazy, Chris Rock, is because Chris Rock is like the big, huge superstar Chris Rock, and people feel like Tony Rock is funny and he's not as big of a star, and his brother is, so he should be. I think that's kind of where that's coming from too. It's like, yeah, he did Everybody Hates Chris, huge show, great opportunity, and he did well, But what else? I think that's the sentiment that we're getting.
I think it's all how you look at it, and I think it's all how you look at family. Some people believe in that, people got to make their own ways and do their own thing. I look at family differently, right? I want to set my family up. I want to set my kids up. I want to set, if I had a brother or sister up, and I hope that if they were in a better position than I was, they would do the same for me. That's how I would look at family. You want like I was just telling Mack was here earlier, I was like, if I had a brother, I would want my brother to be a part of my team, because you feel like, or you would hope that your brother is somebody that you could always trust. That he's not there for money. He's not there for the accolades. He's there because he actually loves you. You would hope that. But you have brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but just because we're in the same business don't mean that we doing the same things. And I'll look out when I can. But also, the biggest thing that I heard Tony talk about was when he said that Chris hit him up and was like, yo, I want you to be in top 5. And then he never heard anything back. Other than that, I don't think that, Chris has an obligation to do anything.
But I will also say this, and I think we all know that sometimes we want to do something and we forget. You
can't forget that.
The ball is dropping certain things. You would think, I told my brother, I forgot. Nobody called my brother.
Nah, you don't got a sibling, because your mom ain't gonna let you forget that.
I'm only child.
If I didn't call my brother about that movie, you know what's going to... First of all, my mom and my brother, my mom's going to... He's just showing up anyway. You told your brother he had a job and he's here.
You better
figure this out.
You better figure this out right now. I'm calling mom. I don't care how old you are. I'm calling mom.
No, you don't just forget about something like that with your sibling.
All I know is salute to Tony Rock, salute to Chris Rock, and my peoples. Tony was definitely a recurring character on Everybody Hates Chris. As far as movies and stuff, I don't know. I can't speak for any of that. But he definitely had a recurring role on Everybody Hates Chris. He might pop up on the cartoon. We don't know.
He could.
He might be on the Everybody Still Hates Chris cartoon that's out right now.
They don't give me beef, though. Like, they don't give me that they, not all okay. Like there's more to it. I just think, I don't know.
Chris is not really a confrontational type person, right? But
and Tony be out here stepping hard for his brother.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
I wonder, should you even be having that conversation on a podcast?
You know what's so crazy? I've never heard him talk about anything like this when it comes to his brother. People ask this question a lot. I don't know what made him decide to do it now.
Well, me neither. That's what I was wondering. I was like, should he even be having this conversation on a podcast?
Yeah.
Because he knows how people are going to pick this apart. He knows people are going to criticize Chris.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows that. And I know he don't want that for Chris.
Nah, because he be ready to throw hands real quick for his brother.
Absolutely.
But I also think, too, like, I used to, Miss Diddy, I'm sorry, that's not her name anymore. Candace Grace used to do this, comedy night in L.A. Every Wednesday. And Tony Rock would host it. And he was so funny, but he would never ever lean into anything about Chris Rock, or it was some
you don't have to.
Exactly. He wanted to build his own name. It was certain people that I would bring there that didn't even know he was Chris Rock's brother. And I thought that was dope. Like, he didn't lean into any of that. He can, but he didn't.
All right, well, let's get to Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa.
News is real. Whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies. She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mack.
On The Breakfast Club.
She's the coach of shoes.
With Lauren LaRosa.
I'm back. And I got the mess.
Talk to me.
Alrighty, guys. So, over the weekend, Dwayne Wade received a statue. He's the first Heat player to receive a statue outside of the Casilla Center in Miami. Oh boy, this statue, baby.
Crazy.
No, let's take a listen, because he was there and he spoke and he was excited to be receiving a statue. And then we'll get into the way that it looks. Let's take a listen to Dwayne Wade at the unveiling.
I didn't really prepare a lot for this moment, actually. I got a book up here. There's only a few things in here. I wanted to feel this. Life goes by so fast. It's very rare that we get to feel things, because we always off to the next thing. And so I didn't prepare much, because I just wanted to feel this, man. I wanted to look at it. Like, that's crazy. I can't believe that. Who is that guy?
He said, who is that guy? We was all trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy was either.
Yo, y'all, Charlie, you seen the statue?
I did see the statue. But I mean, it was like an action shot, right? So I think we be comparing these action shots to how people just look when they got their resting face on.
Nah.
What you at, Dwayne Wade? I ain't never heard you be this nice. Because that statue,
I didn't mean it's a statue.
Action, no action, reaction. That statue was off.
It didn't look that off.
Yes, it did. It didn't look like Dwayne Wade.
You're acting like it looked like it's a totally different person.
Bro, that was like the SSI check version of him. Like, they aged him like 20, 30 years in that statue.
They ordered that off of Temu. That did not look like Dwayne Wade at all.
And he's like, I wanted to feel this moment. I wanted to look at this moment. I'm like, I know it's no way you see that. Like does he? So how does the process go? Does he get to see it prior to?
I'm sure he didn't get to see it.
It was one I saw that looked worse though. Who was it? Who was it last year? I think they actually changed it. It was somebody last year. Or maybe it was a couple years ago.
What they did, Allen Iverson. How did Allen Iverson?
It was somebody that looked totally didn't look like them at all.
But that does not look like Dwayne Wade to me.
I mean, it just looked like an action shot, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I gotta look at it and really look at the details because all you see is mouth. Honestly,
pause.
Shut up.
Because
that's all you saw.
That's all he was looking for. But Kobe's look like Kobe. Jordan looks like Jordan, right?
I don't remember.
Was it Allen Iverson statue? People was mad because it was so little.
It was so short, but they didn't understand it was outside the facility where they were all, I think, that same size.
I just saw the Jordan one too. I saw the Jordan one when I was in Chicago for the DNC convention. But I mean, you don't really pay attention to it because it's like it's the logo. It's him,
right?
You know, so it's like you're not really paying attention to the details of the face.
But that one don't look like him.
Jordan. Okay, I see what you. Jordan's statue ain't really giving Jordan either, but it's the.
And see, that's my thing about statues, right?
Yeah, but see, he got like a. He got the Jordan, you know.
See, growing up, it felt like historically the statues we saw were people that we never saw in real life. So, for all we know, none of these statues probably ever looked like any of these people. We're just realizing it now because these people are alive.
Yo, that's so crazy if that's true. Let me look up some. Who else had a statue?
Do Kobe.
Kobe
but
statue.
My point, we never saw statues of people that were alive. At least I don't remember when I was young.
Nah, Kobe statue is given like this.
Kobe looked like Kobe.
Yeah, this looks like Kobe. They had to get that right though. I don't know, but if you gonna statue me, get something right.
I want to see the picture that they used to make the statue. Then I can make
it don't look like him. See,
now you want to see the inspo.
No, I'm saying it's an action shot. He got his mouth open. It's like he got different emotions in the face. I gotta see the original picture.
Yeah, that's given like when you get a text that's something that should have been a phone call because you misinterpreting it. That statue ain't it.
Look at Magic Johnson. See Magic Johnson's statue.
Okay. Statue comparisons. Let's see. Who is this man?
No, that's Magic.
Okay, yeah, no, Envy. This.
Well, okay, maybe not.
Which one y'all looking at now? Cause Magic got a couple statues.
The one in the Lakers jersey.
That's what I'm saying. We ain't never paid attention.
Wait, y'all, we need to make sure if we just realize that none of these people ever look like themselves ever.
They did Kobe's right.
Look up Asia Wilson real quick. Asia Wilson got a statue outside of Colonial Life Arena.
Let me see that.
Look up Asia Wilson. I've never paid attention, to be honest with you. Statues are statues. They dope. It's just dope.
Can I see her face?
See, that's the thing.
No, I'm saying like the way that the statue is.
See, you ain't never paid attention.
No, this ain't Asia.
How that ain't Asia?
That ain't her.
Y'all ain't never paid attention to statues. That's what I'm realizing now. Statues don't necessarily look like people. They're statues.
Because like you said, you know what? The sad thing about it is we don't really see too much of ourselves in statues, right? Because usually you see a statue of Christopher Columbus, you see a statue of all these old white men. We don't really see
you don't even know if they look like that.
You're right.
Y'all, I'm so mad that we took all this time looking through these statues. Who are these people?
Hey, they got statues. Drop on the clues bomb for them, okay?
We had other stuff to do, man. Angel Reese Shaq. So let's take a listen to Shaq on Angel Reese's podcast.
He got a statue too. Look up him while you doing that.
Don't strike this from the tape, Christian.
We ain't striking it.
Don't. I'm telling you, just lower like that to where it gives you ability to dunk. Bro, imagine you.
I'm not imagining.
Let me finish. Imagine you in the same little shirt you had on at the Wild and Out show dunking. You know how many t-shirts you gonna sell, Cuz? You tripping.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh God.
The same little shirt you had on.
Okay, all right.
Bro, you're not beautiful or good looking. You are gorgeous. There's a lot of gorgeous women in the NBA. Sometimes when people first see y'all, they see y'all, that's what y'all do. They don't know how fucking beautiful y'all are. But when y'all walk into the game, and men are watching the game, hey man, we like what we like. Oh my gosh, we like what we like. So if we like that, and then you see y'all dunking, man, y'all money gonna go up tremendously.
Baby, they drag Shaq for filth.
What'd they say?
They're upset that, number one, they feel like Angel Reese was just put in an uncomfortable position. Like, she seemed uncomfortable at the time when he was making the comments about her in the shorts. Number two, Shaq and her have a relationship. He walked her out, and like the whole Reebok thing. People like, she's finally realizing in real time that men don't do anything for women for no reason. There's always an exchange that they want.
Yes, that's not true.
And just the age difference, of course, it just was giving creepy. It's how a lot of people feel. Yeah.
This is the thing. They don't know their relationship. It could be big brother, little sister, where they joke, they laugh all the time. Shaq did get her a deal. Shaq, what? He runs Reebok or that division of Reebok, got signed on to that deal.
They have a great relationship.
They don't know their relationship.
He walked her out at her retirement. No, not retirement. Senior day. Yeah, knock it off. To me, Shaq was talking from a business perspective. He's talking about what will make other men tune into the WNBA. That's how I took it. I didn't think he meant anything by it. I do disagree with Shaq that the women have to dunk. Because
he said they need to lower the rim for them to dunk.
I disagree with that because the league has changed and like those logo threes, those are like the new dunks nowadays. Like when you see somebody just on fire and they shooting from the logo, to me that gets a bigger reaction than dunks do nowadays. The dunk isn't what it used to be. The dunk contest isn't even what it used to be.
Yeah.
But her whole thing is like we good regardless, so like don't sexualize us. That's if you look in the full conversation they were trying to have. Yeah, that's the conversation she was getting to or whatever. But I mean, I think it's always going to give for people with Shaq. They always trying to make him a creep. So I don't know. There's just I don't know why they.
But what looks creepy?
You seen this Shaq dunk? Speaking of dunk, this is him
Shaq
dunking.
statue.
This do not look like Shaq. At all.
So what I'm realizing is y'all don't be really looking at statues.
No, these statues
that's what I'm realizing.
These statues is giving who did the body. Because like, what in the heck is that? This is not shit.
But it's never about the face with the statue. It's about the fact that you see the statue outside of the arena doing something iconic because you're like when Shaq, that's a Shaq dunk. Right? Or you see Michael Jordan, it's the Michael Jordan Air logo. Like that's what you're looking at. You're not paying attention to nothing else.
You do my statue, y'all. Just make sure they get me right. My hair. Everything.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that Dwayne Wade, is that him pushing down? Is that what that's supposed to be symbolizing?
We gotta wrap up. I don't know. We don't even know if that's really him. They just put somebody.
That's D-Wade.
All right. Well,
salute to all of those people with statues.
Yeah, Charlamagne's statue will be 3'2". All right, now let's get to the mix.
Thick in the thighs, brown in the eyes.
You need to build one of me outside this damn station. How about that?
Station moves too much.
Yeah, it does.
All right, when we come back, we got the People's Choice Mix. We're going to start off with some of the records that DJ Clark Kent produced. Rest in peace again. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hey, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. I just want to salute to everybody at the Blood Manor. The Blood Manor is a haunted house in New York City. I usually don't do haunted houses. But I went to the Blood Manor and had a great time with the wife. We went as a date night, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. So if you get a chance, I know it's Halloween season, you definitely go. If you want to take the kids I think got to be 13 and older, 14 and older. Had a great time. So
I bet you screamed like a bitch.
I sure did.
I bet you jumped right in your arms there 2 or 3 times.
You jealous?
Maybe 4 or 5.
You upset?
Nope.
You mad?
I just know it happened.
I was looking for you in the picture. You let Bae go alone?
I didn't go.
He did.
I wasn't there.
He did.
That's so uncaring.
So uncaring.
Yeah, you don't love
caring, like Karen.
He don't even understand the word.
Karen, we thought white woman. That's what he said, Karen. All right. And salute to everybody that went to Powerhouse NYC over the weekend. You were there, Lauren?
I was. And also, too, Norfolk State University. Shout out to everybody that was there, too. We had a really great time. I love Norfolk. They taught me how to do the electric slide as a Spartan. So shout out to Spartans and Norfolk State University and, Devin and everybody that took care of me while there. Daryl, all of y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Shout out to my Norfolk family. Tori,
salute to my South Carolina State family, too, man. You know what I'm saying? They had their homecoming this weekend. They beat the Delaware State Hornets 69-35.
You hear that? You heard that?
That's a lot of points. That's like a basketball score.
I think that's
like a college basketball score.
I think something is wrong here. You hear that noise?
69-35 is crazy.
It's like piercing.
Yeah. Well,
I bet you don't even know y'all mascot, but you saw Delaware State.
My team won.
What's the Delaware State mascot? What's the Delaware State football team called, Lauren? God damn it.
I'm not doing this with you.
Because you don't know.
I'm not doing this with you. I don't have to Google it because I went to the school.
So what is it?
The Hornet.
You sure?
Yes.
You positive? Okay.
I know Hampton's the Pirates. I've never seen a Hornet around.
What's South Carolina State's?
The Bulldogs. She right, though. It is the Hornets.
No.
Like, stop talking. I went to the school. It's different when you went there.
You got
not
one more
time
to talk to me, and I'm gonna tell the world what you told us this morning. Okay?
What'd I tell you?
I want to wait till prime time though. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna say this. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna say this one tomorrow. Lauren crazy.
What'd I tell you?
Lauren crazy.
You should know. I don't know why you tell him something. I don't know why you tell him. And the fact that he waited, he was.
You know why? No. You know why I'm not gonna say nothing? Because I promised I wasn't gonna acknowledge something this morning, and I'm not.
My hair that looks amazing. First of all, what you talking about happened before this new hair, baby. So please get in line.
Now that she want to bring it up.
Please get in line.
Lauren LaRosa going to tell us. Hold on.
Read the text.
She made up this message that she sent
to us. Don't say I made up nothing. Make sure you shout out the ad name of the homegirl that wanted you giving it to her, so make sure we recognize her ad.
Lauren sent us some text.
she got new hair, right?
Yeah, some new hair.
This was before the new hair.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I'm tired of this Latina lady on the Breakfast Club masquerading as a black woman and calling the VP Kamala a black woman. Her public participation in ethnic erasure needs to be addressed. She's a cosplaying ethnicider.
Wow.
Going to an HBCU don't make you black.
That's crazy.
Now you want to be Latino.
Can you please?
First you wanted to be Lauren London.
Now you want to be
Delaware
Latino.
Nunu. Now you want to be Latino because you got new hair. Just because you get a Dominican blowout don't make you Dominican, Lauren.
First of all, the young lady took her time and she was acknowledging the Bobbion. Shout out to Jamie Ray. That bob was amazing too. She was talking about the bob. So you guys keep going.
Are you Latina?
No. And I told you stop saying my name.
So why this morning he was like, my name is Lauren Rosa.
I would never. And I told Envy, because he keep trying to bring me over there with him and his people.
I'm
it's
black.
La Rosa, not Rosa.
Rosa.
Now you want to be Latino.
Rosa.
Stop putting the cha-cha slide on me. Like, no.
You know what it is? She heard somebody say that like they need more Dominican radio personalities, more Puerto Rican radio personalities in New York. So now she Latino.
Rosa. All right. Well, we'll be back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren Rosa filling in for Jess
Our
Hilarious.
Latino co-host,
Latino.
Lauren Rosa.
La Rosa.
Rosa.
I am a black woman.
You got a positive note, Charlamagne?
Yes.
No.
It comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the positive note is the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. For whatever reason, Lauren Rosa has decided to be Latino this morning. Have a blessed weekend.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?